let me practice on you. If love is a skill, I've got so much practice to do. If love is, if practice on, if love is, you, if love is a skill, let me practice on you. If love is a skill, I've got so much more loving to do. If love is a skill, let me practice on you. If love is a skill, I've got so much practice left to do.
Hey, hey.
Yo, yo.
Yo, what it do, boo?
How we doing?
What it do, what it do drop?
What it do drop? Yo, Fem House fam, I am so excited. I've got one of my favorite people in the world here, Tadia T. Taylor, does it all. I'm gonna let her explain all that it is, but you are in the presence of greatness. If you see fam at a show, at a festival or whatever, you will be witnessing the best aura, the most fun. Go say hi, go give a hug, go see what it do. T, welcome. Thanks for being here with us.
I am so happy to be here with you. I was trying to like unblur my background, but technical difficulties of all sorts of situations.
No, it's vibey actually. The background is giving like your debut album drop. Like,
I'm here at the new Soho House, Mexico City.
tight. How is it?
It's pretty phenomenal. It's like a palace. Like everything's better in Mexico City, man.
Everything
Brown
is there in
down,
Mexico.
Brown getting down south of the border. Let me tell you.
Brown do get down. It's also like I remember the last time I went there, I was shocked by how black it was. I was pleasantly shocked.
I mean, we out here.
We really are. We everywhere, all the corners.
Just had a really great phone call with Swimmin' Tiana, she started Black Cocina. She opened the first Black soul food restaurant in Mexico City. She does events and everything. So, like an octopus, getting my hands on all the things. I was like, girl, how can I support you? How can we collaborate? Let's go.
That's my favorite thing about you. So like, let's start from the beginning. Let's zoom out for Fem House fam. And for y'all joining us, I know y'all wanted to see LP, and T, I know you wanted to see LP. She unfortunately took pretty disgustingly ill this morning, actually. So she couldn't make, but she sends all of her love.
I hope she's feeling well this weekend when she comes to Mexico City.
That's why she's trying to, she was like, I got to be on my P's and Q's. I can't push through like usual. She's like, I need my rest. It's about to be up this weekend. But let's talk about like, I want to hear your origin story. Like, you're a superhero to me. What's your superhero origin story? I find it so interesting. I know it, but I would like everybody else to hear it.
I mean,
what brings you from where you were to where you are now in Mexico City about to have a function?
I mean, we can start with my X-Man mark. I call it my X-Man mark, my little vitiligo, white eyelash. That's my X-Man mark. That's my superhero. It's my secret superhero thing. I mean, I grew up, I grew up in Southern and Central Africa. My mom was a U.S. diplomat. She worked for USAID. She is my superhero, Lucretia Taylor. She was the only woman, her family to go to college, to be Glamour Magazine's Woman of the Year, to be Drum Majorette, to do all the things, and also the first to go overseas and to create and establish a quite a phenomenal career with USAID. USAID is the United States Agency for International Development. So it's the part of the US government that provides foreign aid and infrastructure and assistance to developing nations. So I was conceived in Ghana, from a little torrid love affair. My father, my sperm donor, is Lebanese and Ghanaian. My mother was in the Peace Corps when they met, and he was not part of my life, or really is not really that much a part of my life beyond like the family that I have met and developed a relationship with since. But I grew up in Zimbabwe, Botswana, Cameroon, and Tanzania. From the time I was 4 years old through college. Zimbabwe is where I fell in love with music. Being a child that moved around a lot, socially awkward, Aries, Taurus, crazy kid, that was my safe place. And there's an artist whose name, rest in peace, rest in power, Hugh Masekela, who was actually in exile from South Africa because his music was deemed revolutionary. And he was in Zimbabwe. And he became good friends with my mom, and they would come over, him and his band, and play parties. And he played the trumpet. His most like popular song was Stimela, the Coal Train, which was like a song about how the train would take workers from all of the areas in Southern and Central Africa to go and work and mine coal. And I heard him play trumpet, and it was, I think, the first time in my life moving so much that I found peace. It was the first time music impacted, and I knew like it planted its roots. And that's where it all began.
That's where it all began. Tell me about your first, I love the story and I want everyone else to hear it, because I think it's a story that like deeply connects with all of us as like music industry tribe and kids that are just out here going to raves and festivals. Tell me about your first festival experience and how that sort of led to the legend that is you. Like that's why I know you. Let's hear it.
I'm like, what story
legend
do
because
you know?
it's giving like it's giving the beginning of a legend tale. It's like a hero's journey.
My first festival, or my first, I don't even know. I'm like curious.
The first time you went to Lightning in a Bottle, 2015.
Oh, okay. Well, we're gonna go back a little bit. So in 1996, I'm gonna date myself right now because she's an old ass raver. I had to do for my senior year in high school, I had to do like an internship, and I decided to intern with WHFS, which was like the alt radio station in DC. And that was my first festival experience. I was the intern, and it was Foo Fighters, No Doubt, Jawbox. Like I crowd surfed for the first time. Like that's crazy. But I mean, I can tell you my first, the story, the like festival where I found my calling was Lightning in a Bottle. Actually Outside Lands 2012, 2013 was giving a lot, actually. But it was like California Honey Drops was playing up in like the like Candyland and the forest, and it was a whole vibe. But in 2015, I was invited to attend a festival called Lightning in a Bottle. And I had always wanted to attend as an audiophile, as a music nerd, as someone that I know I listen to music more than I probably go to the bathroom. I don't know, like music is and what I knew of Lightning in a Bottle was that it was this festival. Like I looked at the lineups every year and I was like, damn. I was like, look at this lineup. It's like, it was the festival that it was music discovery. It was giving, like, if you go back and look at Lightning in a Bottle lineups throughout the years, it's like, damn, they were there. Damn, they were there. Like, I was like, Grizz just, gave his like hiatus. And I remember like when he was like this little mini Winnie, at Lightning in a Bottle. Like, and anyways, I got invited to this festival. And the reason I had not been is because, I mean, she don't camp.
I feel you. I feel you.
She's not a camper. And this is actually it's actually a really beautiful story. So during this time, I had made some decisions. I was definitely, going through a period of transformation. And to be quite honest, like in 2013, January 1st, 2013, I made the decision to try sobriety. And so I went through the program, I did all the things. It was something, it was a really beautiful experience that helped me, that led me to this, to be quite honest. And I was invited by some friends that were not part of this path to come to Lightning in a Bottle. My friend said, we've got ticket for you, we've got the tents, we've got the things, like, come. And I was like, I don't know, and I was like, and it wasn't so much that I was like afraid of like, breaking my sobriety or whatever. I was more worried about people like rolling their face off, trying to rub on me and like chewing their faces and me being irritated. You feel me? I was like, just being stuck. I was like, damn. There'll be some people just rubbing on me, trying to do the thing. Like, I can't. This is
right. You stuck in a camp. You stuck in a campground. You can't even,
right.
Yeah.
So, this time I was going through a program called Alcoholics Anonymous, and I went to a meeting, and I was in my head the whole meeting. I wasn't even paying attention to the person that was speaking and whatnot, and then it came for time for sharing. And I just raised my hand like right away. And I don't even think I made eye contact. And I just told the story about how I got invited to this festival, like what my stresses and worries were. And the woman that was leading the meeting, that was the speaker, she said, you should come, join us. I promise you it's going to change your life. And I was like, wait, what? And I looked up. I looked at this woman, and she was maybe like 50s, white woman, definitely like SoCal, and she was like, I run an area called Lightning Without a Bottle. We have 5 meetings a day. We have a space. You will be safe. I promise you, it's going to change your life. I didn't need any other signs. I was like, all right, she camping. Like, let's go. I like the crazy shit is that like our camp where we set up camp was like maybe 50 feet from where Lightning Without a Bottle was. I think I checked in with them once. I'd never had any uncomfortability. For me, music is music, and experience and feeling is feeling. And like, it wasn't that I needed that, but it was nice knowing that it was there. But and I got that sign, I went, and she did not tell a lie. It changed my entire life. I can remember, I have a picture of the moment, my friends that I went with, they were partying, doing the things, and so I did a lot of the festival on my own. I was assisting an artist, DJ Marcus Wyatt at the time, and he was playing. So, I connected with him, but, I spent a lot of time on my own, and it cracked my heart wide open. I've never experienced anything like what I experienced that weekend. And I remember to the moment of like the sun setting, there's a guy standing on a van playing the trumpet, taking me full circle back to my trumpet moment. Ferris wheel in the background, Thunder Stage in the background. And I'm just welled up with tears, and I'm sitting there by myself. And I was like, I want to be a part of creating something that makes other people feel the way this makes me feel right now.
Yeah, that's so powerful, man, because I feel like all of us in the industry, and even folks that, just sort of participate from a fan perspective, like all of us in the industry, we're fans first, right? And we've all had that moment, whether it be at a festival or at a show. There's always been that, like, and it's usually when you're in a transition period, right? Where you're just like, oh shit, this is it. Like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And it really like helps us get through all the other bullshit that can come with the industry, right? Like, you can always
100%.
tap into it.
Well, and also too, and also just to challenge me also too, as being, someone that is fairly guarded, like when I'm open, I'm open. And when I'm open is usually when I'm dancing. Like, those are some of my most open moments. I've danced to RL Grime like I've never danced before in my life. and Snake Hips. I remember it was like 3:30 in the afternoon, Snake Hips was playing, and I was just like in a pocket, and I look up and like I'm surrounded like a circle of people. They're just like, yeah. I didn't even know, I was in that pocket. And but it just challenged me. It cracked my heart open. It was a moment of discovery, self-discovery, and like playful discovery and experience in music. And it was just like, honestly, like, it was the timing, the feeling, the moment, like the memories was just like, and like for me too, like, even though I was super independent and I'm always like kind of on a solo trip, like, this was I mean, it was a pretty intimidating place to like be like doing things solo, but I was never alone,
Yeah.
And it was like, it changed my life. I got back to LA and I was like, how do I do this? I'm emailing everybody. And at this point I was working production and like music videos and commercials. And I was like, oh, there's a way to sideswipe. I know somebody that knows somebody. I could do this a lot. I mean, I must have emailed Raymond Roker. He was like one of the EPs of Coachella at that point, like 55 times, because we worked in Red Bull together. I was like, put me on, put me on, put me on. But I was also trying to figure out how to work for the DoLab. And that year was, I think, the 16-year anniversary of Deep. Deep was one of the longest running Deep House party that Marcus Wyatt founded in Los Angeles. And he brought on this woman, Allie Wender, who worked with the DoLab. And it was like, I might as well have been Michael Jackson. You know what I mean? I was like, and after the show was over, I just pulled her aside and I was like, can I take you for a walk? Can I take you for a coffee? Like, I want to figure out how I can work for the DoLab. And at this point, I'm 34 years old, I think, at this point. This is a complete career switch. And we connect and she's like, well, we are, I don't have any paid positions or anything, but if you're interested, we're doing a year one festival called Dirty Bird Campout, which is a collaboration with Dirty Bird Records. And I'm pretty sure we can get you, on as a volunteer, if you're interested, if you want to come, come do the show with us. And I was like, volunteer.
I'm 34 years old.
34 years old. But you know what? But then I realized, I had to get humble,
Yeah.
Through the course of my career at any point, it's like, you gotta have boundaries, but it's like, this was a new industry, as much as I thought I could, sidestep, I was like, I gotta be humble. Like, this is what I want to do, I gotta do it this way. The crazy thing is that I think that was 2015. In 2018, I was like one of the co-producers and production managers of Dirty Bird Campout. It was a game of chess, things, and and I worked all the positions. I worked, I got offered position, for artist hospitality at Lightning in a Bottle in 2016. And I was like, yeah, artists, the thing. And then, my girl that, who I volunteered with at Dirty Bird Campout, she said, well, a management position has come available. And I think that, you're more suited to that. And I said, well, what is it? She said, well, it's 30 days on site. It's crew hospitality. I think that you should interview for it. Sure. I was like, but I don't want to get stuck. I was like, I want to work artists. I don't want to get stuck. She said, well, just do the interview. So I went in for my interview. I went to the DoLab offices and I was like, on God, I was like, if this woman tells me that I have to camp for 30 days at this festival, I am not taking the job. Legit, it was the first thing she said to me. So how do you feel about camping? I was like, oh God. God. Yeah. So I worked as the Food Angels lead at 2016 Lady in a Bottle. I camped for 30 days on site. And that began my journey. This past year was my last year at the DoLab after 8 years. And I went from being a volunteer in 2015 at Dirty Bird Campout to being the assistant music director and like one of the talent buyers for the DoLab and for Lightning in a Bottle. And
do you realize, like, I mean, as you're in the midst, I know that like, and this is personal to me too, right? Like when you're in the middle of making an impact, you very rarely realize the impact that you're making. Do you have any idea? Like, I know about you because of your time at the DoLab, because I was watching you in real time transform festival lineups, transform party lineups, putting people that I had been fucking with for years on, in a major way. While you're in the middle of doing that, did you have any idea that you were changing the game, that you were modeling like what this shit could look like for like aspiring execs like myself? And like, you know, there's just a bunch of like Black people in the industry right now. That's why we call you Mama T, though, because like you're like you were quite literally like paving a new way for us, and also like highlighting and spotlighting artists that have been on with us in our communities forever in really meaningful ways, you know, like that have sort of like Black Coffee. I'm not gonna say that like you booking him at Do Lab like took him to the moon, but you know, man's just played fucking MSG, you know, and like that's I personally don't see that happening without like Coachella weekend, Do Lab, you know, but like, you know, you're putting on Coco and Breezy, they're to the moon. It's just like, you know, like highlighting us and highlighting our music. Like, did you realize at the time the impact that you were having?
I mean, I will tell you real quick, Black Coffee story. Like Major League DJs last year, Coachella, which was like just massive for me. That's actually when I was actually being interviewed by Billboard during that set, and I had to step away. I was like crying. I was like, I'll be back. And I ran up on stage, and Black Coffee grabs me. He goes, "Look at your world. The people are coming. People are coming in." I was like, oh my God. I mean, I feel like that was honestly the first moment, you know, like, I, you know, you know, it was pretty amazing to be able to tell my story and to be interviewed last year by Billboard, around the work that, you know, I've been doing. And, you know, it really, for me, I mean, I've always been a mama. I've always been experience creator. It's like a blessing and a curse that I am painfully conscious of everybody else's experience and how I contribute to that, whether it be from like someone holding 2 cups in their hand and taking it away from them that I don't even know at a bar, to like, you know, to this. And, you know, like the, you know, the title of the article was, you know, so basically like during the pandemic is when it really hit me. You know, I was out protesting, I was in these streets, I was doing this and that. And like, you know, I'm an alpha, I'm a results oriented person. And I just felt it was all in vain. Like I felt like, you know, and I was organizing protests for like families so that kids could, you know, and I was doing all this stuff, but I needed, you know, I didn't feel it. I felt like we were just, you know, out in the, I mean, not that it was, you know, it was useless or anything, but I just didn't, you know, I needed like results. I needed to see, you know, I needed to feel this impact that we were all trying to create. And I was like, how can I make a, you know, a greater impact? And I was like, in my industry, you know, like this is it, you know. And I started working with, you know, I teamed up with 2+2 and Soul Clap, you know, Eli, we did Rave the Vote during the pandemic. I started working with Noel on Diversify the Stage. And then Jesse, one of the founders of Do Lab, came to me and was like, he's like, you know, Megan's not coming back. You know, are you trying to do this with me? Like, you want to be Sesame Street? You want to book this lineup with me? And I literally said, I was like, I've been waiting for this moment for my whole life. I was like, honestly, in light of everything that's going on, I was like, I cannot do this with you unless we commit to diversifying. You know, I had invited so many different people, you know, a lot of, like, you know, people of color, like Black friends, Hispanic friends, whatever, to come. And like, people were like, why would I come? Like, some were like, yeah, you know, but like others were like, why, you know, like, why would I go? Like, you know, there's like Marcus Wyatt, you know, and maybe like, you know, Marcus Wyatt, you know, like, why would we, why, you know, Patricia, they were like, why would we come? You know, and so, let me not forget Rocky Dewey. Rocky Dewey was doing his thing, but, and that for me was big because, you know, I had such a love and so like my heart and like transformation in life, and that I wanted to share this space. And, you know, and I, you know, constantly having conversations with, you know, friends and stuff, and realizing, and also too, realizing that during the pandemic, people that I had worked with, you know, on the show, whatever, that had no conception of what was going on in the world, you know, that there was this like utopia of like, and I was like, no, this is, you know, this is not it. And so, you know, Jesse was like, yeah, I'm down, let's do this. And, you know, one of the most beautiful things about that is that, like, yes, I had this commitment to this, and I had this commitment to, you know, to bringing us back into a space that we created fundamentally, but also it was an opportunity for me to learn as well, like the deep diving I had to do to find like Black and brown bass music artists and and like other, it was such a beautiful experience, and I had to humble myself again because I had to learn too, you know what I mean? Like, let's be honest, like my favorite artist is James Blake, like that's my king, like, you know what I mean? Like Bonobo, it's like, but while I was listening to all different kinds of music, I had to really I had to learn, and I had to deep dive, and and that inspired me also to create this community Bufu that I started, that I created or began last year. And Bufu, sorry for it, stand initially, back of house is by us, fuck you. Front of house is by us, for us. But I just really realized the need, not only within fighting for a seat at the table, but also creating our own, the space. Like there were so many of us that were tokens, and like the one and only, and like, and I was like, I know there's so many of me, like, how do we collectivize and how do we come together? And it literally, what started out as like a WhatsApp chat is now like 300 plus strong, I think, and global. And right now I'm working on, creating a B Corp out of it, from it, and like starting a label, starting an agency, because little known fact, I'm pretty sure this is accurate. In the United States, I only know of one Black dance music agent.
Shaq.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hi,
yeah,
Shaq.
Shaq Millie.
Yeah.
Shaq Millie.
Shaq Millie. That's it.
Like this is, so this is something that like I realized that like it's got to shift, like, because it's also about not only educating and not taking back the table, but also educating us, right?
Right.
I remember when Drake came out with his album, everyone was like poo-pooing on him, like, what's he doing? I'm like, yo, like we created this shit, and like, while I'm not trying to push anybody out, there has to be space for us at this table, but we also have to create our own. Like the amount of like POC creatives and like Bufu is comprised of, people that work, back of house, people that work front of house, people that are producers, people that are DJs, people that are agents, people that are allies, people that are Mexican, Asian, like POC, it's not exclusive by any means, but it is people that, are down, that are down for the brown. And I just, and it's actually really beautiful. And I have to be careful of saying that like I'm grateful, because I'm not grateful because I deserve this. We deserve this. I'm not grateful. I'm not lucky to be acknowledged or recognized.
Yeah, earned it. You're taking your spot. You're reclaiming your spot.
Like for us, and like none of this has ever been about me. Yeah. I can give, like this work is about us and what I can do to create space and opportunity for us and inspire, because like we're beautiful, we're creative, we're powerful. So, the biggest artist in the world is Puerto Rican, and they probably don't even have clean drinking water right now. You feel me? Like, it's like, I think that there is something to be said though about fighting for a seat at the table as well as creating our own. And like, all I want to do is create opportunity and inspire and create space, and also educate and challenge, the powers that be. And I hate going to say grateful, because I've gotten to a point where these white people listen to me, and I am grateful to have amazing allies, from agents to promoters to other like, producers, DJs, whatever. I am grateful for that. I'm grateful for the community that I've been able to create and inspire and challenge to do the work and to do something differently. And that is truly a blessing. And so, yeah.
I'm going to take a little break and remind folks that are tuning in. If you have questions, we're going to be wrapping up here in a few minutes. Drop them in the Q&A box. Don't put them in the chat. Don't put them somewhere else. Auntie don't know where to find that stuff. Q&A box is the only thing I know how to work on this motherfucker. Put them in the Q&A box. Probably going to wrap up in about 5 minutes. So I would encourage you to get your questions off. I have a question. How does one get involved with Bufu? What's the first step to making yourself known to the community and and working to make an impact in it?
I can either follow up with y'all. I could drop it. It literally like it's a WhatsApp group right now. We're gonna move to Discord. I don't know all that fancy tech stuff, so we're
We
working on
can help
that.
you with that. FemHouse can help you move to Discord.
But yeah, I can just drop the link. We've got chats for Miami, London, New York. We've got an ADE group. We've got Art Basel group we're working on. Actually activating at Art Basel this December. And doing some educational pieces and doing some performance stuff. And yeah, it's literally for everybody. If you are about the cause, if you're about collectivizing, if you're about co-creating and celebrating and doing the damn thing, like right here, I will you can also hit me on IG and I can give you the info, but I all are welcome. And more will be revealed in 2024.
I can't wait to
give me some more.
What's next for you? So you're in why are you in Mexico City other than like vibes? I know you got your hand in 15 things because that's just how you act. So what are you doing?
I moved down to Mexico. I just got burnt out on LA. I got burnt out. My cup was empty, man. Like,
Yeah.
And that's not to say like I'm here for everybody. I'm here, like I will hold space, I will have chat, but like I honestly like I don't want to say this without making it sound I was just too accessible and too accessible for myself. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how to not be Little Miss Rave Mom.
Yeah.
And I needed a break. I moved to Mexico and I came to Mexico City in February and I fell in love with the entire space, the creativity, the culture, the music, the food, the energy, the space, everything. And being able to work remotely. I was working as music director for Meow Wolf. I have recently got laid off, but every lesson is a blessing, on to the next episode. And it's actually really beautiful. I'm actually enjoying like having pause. I just got a puppy. He's the cutest little Negro on the planet. And I'm just living a little bit, I mean, I can't go to, I'm calling it my early retirement, but like, let's be honest, like in the next like 2 weeks, I got to do something or I'm going to lose my mind.
I know.
But I'm really just grounding and like learning to take space and to ground and to just exist and be, and I'm digging it here. I actually have a meeting later on. I'm going to start talent buying for a venue here. Bufu, and I'll be in LA in a few weeks for LA3C. And yeah, just like, but like, it feels home here, as someone that moved around a lot. It feels like home, and also just really inspiring. Like, yes, there's a lot of expats and getting old and whatnot, but it's really inspiring to see brown folk down here doing the thing, like running it. And I just want to be a part of supporting, celebrating, assimilating, and co-creating in this space and beyond. But like, I'm around. She's everywhere.
She's everywhere. You know what? I think you make a really important point too. I don't think that like, us like execs or like back of house, like we don't think of ourselves as creatives, but our job is very creative. All of our jobs are very creative. And you can't be creative without grounding. You can't be creative without taking space for yourself. You can't be creative discovering new things about yourself, being uncomfortable with discomfort, knowing when to take yourself out the game and go connect to your personhood. So I'm really glad you're doing that because you do give an awful lot.
Well, I'm going to give you this. Come visit me.
I am going to come visit you. My dream in the next 2 years is to build my own house in Mexico, in Baja California. So it's the vibes. And I'm trying to make it a compound, like come one, come all, come work on a record, come work on a book, come whatever, just like come be a person. A couple of questions. First from Nova Soul. This is less of a question and more of like, and I love you. You're amazing, Tadia. So glad we got the chance to meet at Coachella. Would love to hear more about Bufu and join
at the silent disco.
Which was
use a real one. Use a baddie, girl. Use a baddie.
No, but we'll be sure to get on the back end all the WhatsApp information. That goes for everybody. We'll get all the WhatsApp stuff and everything about Bufu and how to contact T and everything. We'll put it in a social post. So we got y'all. And then this is from Life on Planets. What are some What are some tools you use to discuss? You're so funny because this is how you act at festivals too. You know everybody, and like knowing everybody in the chat, in the Q&A box is just like exactly who you are. Life on Planets wants to know, what are some tools you use to discover new and upcoming Black artists in dance music? Awesome question.
I just hang out with you, Phil. Speaking of new and upcoming amazing Black talents, y'all go check out Life on Planets. He is a beast. He dances, he's smooth, he's suave, he raps, he sings, he does all the things. But you know, I'm just out. I'm out in the streets. I'm listening to music. I got my Spotify release radar. I talk to folks. I ask for recommendations. Bufu is also really amazing. You know, we have a music share channel on there where people can drop in new music. I go to shows all the time, from instruments to not. Like I'm at, you know, like if you know me, you know I'm at a show. Like when I was in LA, I was at 5 shows Thursday through Sunday every night. But I also, you know, I listen to my friends, I listen to the folks, I listen to the people, and like Shazam, my auto Shazam is on at any set that I go to, any TV show I'm watching, anything. Like you never know where you're going to discover music. I'll be just like in the Starbucks, like auto Shazam, you know, like I just try to stay open. But I think like one of my, also a blessing and a curse is I'd always hear music no matter where I am. Like I'll be out with friends and I'll be like, damn, that music is loud. They'll be like, I don't even hear the music. Like I'm so tuned into it all the time. Mm-hmm. But I also have friends like Live on Planets who also turn me on to the music as well.
Thanks.
Love ma'am.
Jovi Calavea. I hope I've said that pronounce that right, Jovi. If I didn't, I'm sorry. Thank you so much for taking the time to share your energy and inspirational story. My name is Jovi, DJ name Jovella. That's a tight ass DJ name. Event curator aimed at creating spaces for underrepresented artists out of San Diego. As a trailblazer seeking to create more inclusivity and diversity in the music industry, what is action we can take individually and collectively as a community to move the mission forward? And are there other organizations and collaborators you suggest connecting with to continue building?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're in San Diego, there's a few folks I can connect you with there. I think that, you know, just doing the thing, you know, connecting, playing, doing, you know, if you're not getting booked on a party, create your own shit. You know what I mean? Like, you know, create community within yourself, within your friends, within the people, you know, and like reaching out. Like I literally, I check every Instagram like message I get on the side or whatever, you know, I hit. Like Diversify the Stage is a really amazing organization that was founded by Noelle Skaggs and Fist in the Tantrums, which is a space that champions like, you know, diversity, you know, in booking, in, you know, and hiring practices, you know, across the music industry. I mean,
shout out to Noelle, who, by the way, was our very first Backstage pass ever, like 2 years ago. And when we talked to her for the first time, like she's a lot like you in this way. So it makes sense that y'all are thick as thieves. Immediately, she was just like, how can I help? What do you need? Who do you need to talk to? Blah, blah, blah. And that's just like, that's what you do, right? You reach out, you build community, you build out. Niggas get very concerned with building up. Build out. Mm-hmm. Build out is where you get authentic community.
I'm like, honestly, too, I know like San Diego is one of those like spots that's a little vanillas, but I could definitely connect you with, you know, I don't know if you're already familiar with Afro Montes Collective. They could definitely, you know, use some support, like Cappuccino DJs, Pass the Vibe. There's a whole bunch of folks down there that are doing the thing. And like, yeah, please just hit me in the DM, slide into my DMs. I'd definitely be down to chat more about that. And like, don't be afraid to create your own spaces and to reach out and like hit folks, you know, and speak up. You know, we all have a voice, we all deserve space, we all love to dance, we all love music, we all feel it the same way. So yeah, keep creating, keep doing, keep blessing.
Amir says, thank you for all the hard work you do with such positive energy and love. Can't wait to cross paths again soon. Zaina
Biggie Talls, Amir? Biggie Talls.
Zaina says, what's the plan for next year? Does it include London?
Yo, that is my cousin. That is my blood. Like,
Right.
Habibi. Yeah, girl, I'm coming for you. London is coming. I mean, hopefully, I gotta like work on Mexico first, but plans for next year is just to keep, what if I ever since I glowed up, I'm just trying to glow up. I'm just trying to keep on building, sending, inspiring, creating, collaborating, loving, living, doing the thing. What's
Aluna,
next for you, Zaina? Are you coming to Mexico? Just kidding.
Aluna
Aluna, my
wants to
girl.
know, what would you say to other Black women looking to follow in your footsteps? Girl, now you got all your cousins up here in the Q&A.
Aluna's my cousin too. Just kidding. I would say don't ever follow in my footsteps. Let me show you, let me teach you, let me inspire you, and walk beside me.
Right. Your cousin Nawal says, "Hey cousin, for fuck's sakes, just realizing we need to catch up. In London, no Colorado." Nawal, take it to the family chat, please.
Please.
Mark says, "So glad we met here in Mexico City. You know, the vibes are right here. Are there any other festivals that you're most excited about? Events that are prioritizing more diversity and inclusion in their lineups, events that are making more space for emerging artists?" Also, y'all, that was the last question. Y'all being funny.
I'm actually really excited about MUTEC here in Mexico this week. MUTEC being a tech and creative design and music space is actually really inspiring because I feel like this is the next wave. Really, really looking forward to festivals. I'm trying not to go to any more festivals if I'm being real, y'all. Yeah, I mean, there's so many out there, there's a lot of stuff I'm hearing about, like making time just happen. There's a lot of things that are out there. I'm looking to definitely explore the Europe space, looking at like garbage, looking at definitely trying to jump across the pond the other way and hit down South Africa. And try to do some like Amapiano, some Afrobeat, some like, West African things, and like really just explore those spaces. And yeah, just to dig deeper, here.
Last question is from me. You were sitting down with younger Tadia. Let's say, let's pick an age. Let's say 15-year-old Tadia. What do you say to that girl to make sure she keeps going?
You're not an Oreo cookie. I'm just kidding. That's what was calling me when I was 15. Wow. Keep listening. Keep feeling.
Well, that's that. FemHouse fam, keep listening, keep feeling, stay open. T, I love you so much. You are such an inspiration, not just because of all the cool things that you do, but because of the person that you are. And I'm so grateful every time we get to share space. I can't wait to share more space. I'm about to bring my ass to Mexico City and fuck with you if I'm being honest.
Are you in LA?
Yeah.
I'll see you next weekend.
All right, then. Shit, I'll see you then. FemHouse fam, it's been real. Thanks for kicking it with us. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for having me.
Always will. Thank you.